virtual board meetings until we're allowed to come back together as open meetings. So basically, this is just a reminder that we are going to do the virtual board luncheons and board meetings on the way we're doing them now.
Yeah, thank you.
I brought my mask, but I didn't know whether we'd need them or not today.
Okay, I guess first thing would be then superintendent comments. Mr. Burrow.
We have a lot of things going on. Well, speaking with, having a webcast with the governor yesterday, and everybody probably has known that they heard that we are no longer going to be allowed to have school. I'm no longer going to be allowed to have in-person graduations or meetings. So basically, there's going to be a few things on this board agenda today that I need to get approved, and also on Thursday for the end of the year days, that the instructional hours, teachers' hours, when we're going to have graduation, is going to be things that we're going to work on, because we're still going to have some very special graduation for our kids. It's going to be unorthodox, but we always will. The McLean County steps up. These kids will be having may not be what they're used to, but they're going to get a graduation like they have nobody's ever had before. We'll make it special for them.
Good.
Just to let you know, I've had some calls about the greenhouse. We have florists in the county that are closed, and we have a lot of people worried about the ag and their funds and the things in the greenhouse. But I don't speak for y'all, but I have a feeling, even if we don't, but we have some people in the community that are interested in purchasing them all. If that's the case, I'm going to set up a time. I'm going to have a 1 day, no more than 2, where they get the inventory and the ag department will get funds. But I can probably say that as a board, through the state of emergency, that you as a board would be offering to help the ag. If we don't have, I'd rather have us not in the front page news of people going and gathering at the greenhouse. And so I'm not speaking for you, but I just got a feeling y'all would be more happy to help the ag with some of our funds. But if I could find, which we have some takers right now, I'm hearing, that's willing just to come and purchase and make pretty much help the ag department out with either a wash or a little bit extra to kind of make sure they don't go in the hole. So we're working on that. I've been emailing back and forth with Ms. Howard and Ms. Watkins today. So hopefully they're going to be starting getting the time, make sure they get the funds first, and we'll set up a time for them to come and get the inventory. Then we are done with it. I like to be done in 1 day. That way we don't have anybody in our coming up and taking a chance of spreading this virus. One of the things that I want to say here is that I'm going to, just to let you know, with this, everybody on modified working or not working at all, laid off, I do not feel comfortable trying to still do the Calhoun HVAC project at this summer. I'd rather have not the best heat and air for start of the school than no heat and air at the start of the school, because they couldn't get parts, couldn't finish it. Now, just push back the project. We are going to have a weird, I think, fall with this. I think we're going to have some form of issues still with this virus in the fall. I'd rather just wait and be able to do both projects in a year from now. And I know the project will get done and we'll have more an idea. I don't want to gamble of having to not have a school for our kids open at the time we need to open it. So I'm just saying, I'm just going to suspend. I've talked to Mr. Jackson, or actually has, and he's agreed that's probably the best thing at this time, because we don't want to be able to come back, and we can't come back. So, because we haven't been in school forever, we want to be able to be in school when we can get to school, and I don't want to push it one more year, and I don't want to chance it, because some places are not making parts. So I'm just going to suspend it for a year, just letting you know for that.
That's probably it. Definitely a good idea.
Thank you. Also, once again, I'd like to thank our staff, teachers, bus drivers, uh, custodians, cooks, our kids, our parents, everybody. You just don't know how much I've been hearing what other districts are not doing during NTI, but our county is working hard and education is still taking place. And that to me is a testament to everybody in our system, in our community, our parents, guardians. I mean, it's I want to say thank you again. We'll go on with how long we're going to go on after this, because we got to finish NTI for the rest of the year, and I'll tell you how that is. Y'all approve the end of the year here in a minute, but just want to say thank you to everybody. And this is unprecedented. And it just basically, number one, it's basically nobody's ever done this, but we have teachers that care about our kids. So, and our staff cares about our kids, bus drivers, our cooks, or, just everybody, our administrators, and I thank them tremendously for what they're doing for them. That's all I have, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Burrell. I guess next it will be the approval of individual action items, and consider approval of certified evaluation plan amendment. And I think that's Miss Shannon Lindsay.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, in your packet, there are actually two sheets. One is the certified evaluation plan amendment, and the other is for classify, which is the next item on the individual action items there. But let's go over the certified amendment that I have proposed for you. Due to us not being face-to-face instruction and in our buildings, it's impossible for us to carry out our evaluation plan as approved by the board. So I'm having to make some amendments so that we can get through this year. So I'm going to just highlight those. A lot of them are simply timelines. We needed to extend that timeline to May 1st or May 20th on some occasions. Another thing is each tenured teacher gets, their cycle is a 3-year cycle. And so they're evaluated once each year. And on the 3rd year, a summative occurs. Well, some of the teachers had not had an evaluation this year. So we are amending that to say that we can do a summative with only 2 observations. So depending on what year they're in within their cycle, they'll either double up next year, or we'll go ahead and have a summative with only 2 years worth of evaluations. Another big difference is that all meetings will be done electronically with electronic signatures, where before those meetings were supposed to happen face-to-face. And of course, the principal was supposed to be in the classrooms with the teachers. The non-tenured, again, we had to make some adjustments because some of the principals had not completed all 3 observations for these teachers this year. So we are allowing the summative to occur after only 2 observations. I made sure and survey all the principals to see where they were so that these amendments would fit with what they had already completed and what would be doable by the end of this school year. I also noted that all the same rubrics were going to be used. And I think that's it for the certified amendment.
All right. Ms. Lindsay, would you like to go ahead down with the classified? I think it's just basically the same thing, only classified, correct?
Yes. On the classified, it was a lot shorter. It's just the front of 1 page. And the only thing that really needed to be changed was the deadline to May 1st. And then also to accept electronic signatures and to meet electronically. In the old evaluation plan, it was face-to-face meetings, and our deadline was April the 15th. So with us being out, it was just impossible for principals to meet those deadlines. So I'm hoping, this extra 2 weeks helps, and it also allows them to do this by phone or other virtual means.
Okay. All right.
I recommend we approve, we'll do the first one first. Recommend we approve the certified evaluation plan amendment.
Okay, all have heard Mr. Burrow's recommendation. All signify by saying yes.
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 I guess we need a motion, don't we, first in a
I'm
second?
sorry I did that last time, didn't I? Okay, let's have a motion on that, please.
Angie Bumpus makes a motion.
All right, Ms. Bumpus. You have a second?
Joyce Sutton, second.
All right, thank you. Now then, let's try this again. All in favor say yes.
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 Okay, opposed? No. Think the yeses have it. All right, sorry about that. Now then, we'll do the same thing with the classified.
I recommend that we approve the classified evaluation plan amendment.
Okay. Heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Riggs
Yeah.
makes the motion.
Mr. Riggs, all right. And second?
I'll second it.
All right, Mr. Howard. Okay, all signify by saying yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, noes? All right, have that. Thank you. I guess the next thing would be consider approval of March 26th special call board meeting. Mr. Burrow.
This is basically what we had a virtual luncheon. This is a virtual board meeting. So I've looked through it. If everybody's ready, whenever you're ready, I recommend we approve March 26th board minutes.
Does anyone need extra time to look over it? You can take a few moments if you're ready while Mr. Burrow making a recommendation.
Riggs is ready.
I'm
Okay.
ready.
Ready?
Sutton.
Yes.
All right. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make
Yeah.
a motion.
Who's that?
Mrs. Sutton.
Miss Sutton. All righty. How about a second?
I'll second it. This is Riggs.
All righty. Mr. Riggs, thank you. No other discussion. All signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Opposed? No? Oh. All righty. Yeses have it. Next item would be consider approval of a 196-day middle school and high school ag teacher. Mr. Burrow.
Yes, over the course of thinking, working, talking to the middle school and high school, we have a lot of, really need for some electives. But also, I remember back when I was here as a principal a while back, many moons ago, we had 2 ag teachers at the high school, and they worked hand in hand together. But there was not enough kids to support 2 at the high school, but there would be for half of one. And also, middle school is in dire need of some extra ag or extra elective classes. So this could be kind of the feeder program to the high school and start their classes early. And I've kind of mentioned to you, this is one of the things I like to get put in. This wouldn't be a 240, it'd be a 196 day. That gives them 2 weeks in the summer to help with camps and everything else. And basically the budget, working with Mr. Stokes, we have that, think that will work in the budget. It will be a district position, not a school position, because I'll be able to put a person in there. I want that to be able to stay the same as an ag teacher, not where site-based can change it because it is an ag position. At this time, I'm to recommend we approve a new position of 196-day middle school and high school ag position that they will use at a joint and for ag classes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Burrow. Heard the recommendation. Anyone want to make a motion for that?
I'd like to make the motion for that one.
All right, Mr. Howard. Thank you. Have a second?
I'll second that.
That is by Ms. Bumpus. All righty. Heard the motion and second. All signify by saying yes.
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 All right. Opposed? Okay. Yeses have it. All right, and then consider approval of last day of school, I think May 11th, 2020, for 162 hours. Mr.
Right.
Burwell?
Yes, this was a special called meeting, so basically it's we had to get this agenda into the paper basically before the governor's call at 1 o'clock. Yes, we had to get it before 12 o'clock. And originally our last day of school was going to be May 18th with using hours. But during the governor's webcast, Commissioner of Education was on there. They have told us we can now use NTI days for more hours than what we use as our regular school day. Give you an example. We have to count a regular school day at 6.28333, I guess, percent a day. At 6 hours and 28 minutes a day that we use. All right. A instructional school year for students, there's two ways to do this. You can go by hours, which is 1,062 hours, but we have always used 172 days, instructional days for our students. But with the governor and the commissioner adding where we can use every NTI day that we can use, that we have used to the end of the year, we will be able to use 7 hours a day. And in the regular school days we used 6.28. So basically with that 7 hour day and some bank time put in there and having these kids on NTI, I like for us to use the hour instead of the days and say that with the 1,062 hours, our last instructional day for NTI for our kids will be May 11th, Monday, May 11th. And that's my recommendation to you for you to approve.
And I think you said the teachers would be out the 21st. Is that correct?
Right. Teachers contracted through basically their last day, closing day is May 21st. This assumes that all PD and parent teacher conference days that they have fulfilled, which I think everybody has, but their contract will be done May 21st. The teachers are. I mean, they get grades in. They'll get to be able to work on stuff for next year, possible virtual PDs. We got a lot of things we could do with them, but just for the kids, last day for NTI and the parents, we let them know we're going to be, NTI will be over May 11th, and the kids' last instructional hour will be May 11th.
All right, thank you. I guess that's a recommendation. Was that a recommendation, Mr.
That's
Burrow?
my recommendation. May 11th will be our last instructional hour for our students. Will be May 11th. I like
All right.
62.
Have a motion for that?
I'll make that motion. This is Sutton.
All right, Ms. Sutton, how about a second?
Second, Howard.
Go ahead, John.
That's fine. Second.
Mr. Howard, second. Thank you. All right. I have no other discussion. I'll signify by saying yes.
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 Those opposed, no. All right, yeses have it. All right, and next discussion will be the board meeting agenda, unless there's something else Mr. Burrow knows of.
Oh,
Wait,
no.
hold on.
Yeah.
I just have a question. It's May 11th, right?
Yes.
Okay, because it says May 18th.
Right. That was what we had to turn in before we got the governor. I hadn't heard
okay.
anything before 12. That was
I'm
what
sorry.
it was going to be.
Yeah.
And once they gave us guidance that we can use more hours for NTI days,
Mhm.
and that changed it now to May 11th. It's going to be May 11th to May 18th. We
Okay.
approved May 11th through our.
Okay, sorry, my mind just kind of blacked out there.
It's okay. As far as the agenda, well, I'll go through that for Thursday for you. Of course, my superintendent evidence, I have had nothing this month to deal with at all. So I'm just kidding. But you have all that stuff. But the only thing, the next one on fundraisers, I've shut down all fundraisers, but the only fundraisers that there'll be a new one. For us to sell that stuff out of the greenhouse, we need to be approved. Board needs to approve. That'll be approved Thursday. That you can you approve the greenhouse fundraiser sales. No, the minutes for today will be on there. And on C, for us to have a position at the alternative school for a receptionist, I like for you proposing, you recommend on Thursday that you approve on the consent agenda, approve the receptionist for McLean County Alternative Center and the MAC Center. So we can have a receptionist there. That's a new position. I have to have it on the board for it to be on the salary schedule and allotments. So that part. And I'm gonna let Miss Lindsay talk about the nutrition and wellness report.
Yes, Mr. Miller and Mr. Burrow, members of the board, each year by May 1st, we have to submit to KDE a nutrition and wellness report. Back in October, the principals and the PE teachers and the director of food service sit down. We sit down together and everyone completes their sections on an assessment. Then we get those results back, and that is what I use to come up with recommendations and findings just to try to improve. I will have a copy for you on Thursday of those findings and recommendations, but that's what that's for.
All right, thank you. Ms. Brackett, would you like to talk about the civics exam graduation requirement waiver?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, our district graduation requirements require students pass a 100-question civics exam. This was passed a couple years ago after it was put into law by our legislatures. And this year, being as the in-person year was cut short, we're unable to give that to some of the students that haven't passed it yet. And this is an issue throughout the entire state because it has to be given in the school setting. It can't be given online at students' home. So that being said, they have provided us a waiver for the state to allow us to waive it from the law if our board waive it at the district level for just this 1 year. And I believe when conferring with Ms. Howard, we have around 12 students that had not been able to pass that yet. So I would like to request that we waive the civics exam for the class of 2020's graduation requirements for this year.
And that waiver is from the state. So, and it was given from the commissioner. So, and they approved it. So all districts that has this going on. So that would be a recommendation that we would go ahead and approve that waiver for this year for those kids. Ms. Turley, you want to talk about the Evansville Center for the Blind?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The Evansville Association for the Blind, we're just looking to renew that contract. We had the contract last year. We didn't have any students that required the service. I got feedback. I don't know what. We anticipate that we might necessarily have that this year. So I would just like to go ahead and have that contract in place in case we need to use those services. The rate is the same as what they had provided to us last year.
All right.
All right, thank
you. Frisky one next, don't you, Ms. Turley?
The Frisky contract is for the next fiscal year. They don't actually have their budget information. So at this point in time, they've just proposed the contract based on the current amount that we were funded this year. And so we're just going to go ahead and approve it based on the current information, and that is probably subject to change in a few months.
Okay, 504 is next.
The 504, if you remember, I think it's probably been about a year that we revised our 504 policy. At the time, I did not update the forms, and at the same time, we were wanting to create those in PDF, fillable FDF forms so that they could be uploaded in Infinite Campus. So I have actually made a few minor changes to the forms, mostly just formatting. All of the changes that were made were based on recommendations that were provided through KSBA. And so I've just made those edits created the PDF forms with the assistance of Haley Hudson and just wanting to get those approved.
All right, thank you. Mr. Stokes, would you like to discuss the indirect cost rates?
Here, we asked the board to approve rates for indirect costs. And so I'm asking them to be approved, but I want to make clear that we do not anticipate recommending to the board to actually take any indirect costs. It's just that we approve the rates so that if something came up and we needed to, we would do that. Also, in recent years, the KDE has all CFOs log in and certify the rates. So that's why I'm by May 1st. So that's why I would like the board to approve these at Thursday night's meeting, so that when I'm certifying them, will actually already be board approved.
Okay.
All right, thank you. As far as the next one, the audit proposal, I could just, but basically, you want to talk about David, but basically we're requesting the approval of the same person. When we get the proposal, you'll have the proposal on Thursday. It's going to be the same person that's done our audit before. And you got any other things?
Approximately the same price. They have not raised their price in several years. And she said that she anticipates maybe a small cost of living increase, which could be a 1 or 2%, less than $200 or $300.
Okay, thank you. We'll approve the bills on Thursday. You'll probably have some add-on bills also. And on Thursday, I'm just going to go and say, I am requesting that I'll talk more about it when we go back into today's meeting. I got a discussion on graduation, but on Thursday, I will ask you for a recommend to approve the graduation date, because our teachers are done to May 21st. That's a Thursday. I would like for May 22nd, Friday, to be our graduation date. And give us 1 month. We're going to have something special for the kids, and I'll share with you more stuff in a minute. But I will be having the board recommend the board to have graduation date May 22nd, Friday. On the next one, site-based allocations, all the schools. At this time, all schools and each will have the exact same amount of teachers as they did last year, except high school. There'll be some difference because we're merging with the MAC and allocations. So, but we've also given another allocation to them. So that's the only ones different from last year. But the allocations, all the rest of the schools are going to have exact same. High school and middle school will also have our board allocation of a half ag teacher going to each one. So they'll be able to use that also. And then there'll be the treasury report, of course, for David. And the rest of it is basically the rest of the agenda. It's just basically reports. That's all I have for Thursday night.
All right, thank you. Does any board members have any questions or any comments?
Tommy, how's the lunch deal going?
Great. Melody, do you have numbers? I know I saw she was on here just a second ago.
I was just hoping it was still going good. I wasn't too concerned on numbers, but
well, I have not had any. I feel like they went well this week after a spring break. What I was told, it's gone really good. Is Melody on here?
Mr. Burrow?
Yes.
This is Miss Lindsay. I just wanted to add, I think before spring break, the cooks were feeling a little overwhelmed, but our classified staff, a lot of our instructional aides were assigned to help, and they were excited about helping. And I think that has reduced a lot of their stress in helping to get things prepared in time.
Yes. Because we went to 3 days a week, and pretty much that's been for Monday and Tuesday, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. On Wednesday, so it's double their amount. So we kind of is it 2 shifts, Shannon? We're doing 2 shifts now each.
Yes, they were going to try to even change that a little differently and have like a team A and a team B, so that team A would be maybe there on Monday and Wednesday, and team B on Friday and then alternate weeks, because if we have anybody that tests positive on that team, more than likely that whole team would have to quarantine. So we were trying to make it so that we would still have options and not everybody be quarantined and have to stop the feeding program.
Good. It's good.
Okay, thank you.
How are we doing with the kids as far as turning in work? I mean, are we meeting that everybody passing and that kind of thing?
Well, we all know that this is a strange year. We are going to do some adjusting.
Okay.
You know, this 9 weeks probably won't weigh as much as previous 9 weeks. I think the high school is waiving the finals because doing an online final this time could hurt some. And basically, they're taking into account what this is. So the weight of this 9 weeks is not going to be. I've heard there's a minor few of them are not turning things in. The other part of it is that it shouldn't be an issue for most. Now, I know the high school's been going out delivering thumb drives, picking up stuff for them. So, but as far as I don't know if is there mics on the principals or not? Did anybody, Christy, you know? Were you there?
I'm here. This is Miss Elise.
Okay, Miss Leaf, I'll let you just share.
Okay. We're doing the same kind of as the high school. They've been going out and taking thumb drives. I've gone out a few different times and taken work or picked up work, things of that nature. But for the majority of our students, they are working, and I can say that the work that they are doing is still to high expectations, high quality. Teachers are absolutely doing everything within their power. They've been Zooming them online. They've been doing videos where the kids watch actual instruction just like they are in the classroom, and then going and doing the work. So they've been very creative. I cannot say anything other than positive things about my teachers and the kids and just what everybody's doing to pitch in and get it done. I mean, their parents are texting pictures of work to teachers, and they're grading that. And I've been making calls to parents, just keeping a call log of random that I reach out to, just making sure everybody's good, not just academically, but I only have positive things that have been going on in our school. So.
Right.
I know, just as a parent, my son's teachers have been phenomenal. They not only call me, but they call him personally. But I do know, just in just conversation, there's some kids that my parent, I mean, it's like, and just like that, corporal punishment is back in the classroom. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm ready to beat my kid. I can't get them motivated to do anything, you know. And I've had people say, and what is the number I call for a substitute teacher? I mean, you know, they are like, I can't get them to do anything. So that's just my question, because my child, it's just like school. We have the same bedtime. We get up at 6 o'clock. He eats breakfast. He goes to school. He sits at the dining room table, and I almost had to call Heath Hicks and say, you're going to have to make a house call because we've worked on this one virtual store for 2 days. But, you know, for the most part, I have nothing but the highest praise for these teachers. They are awesome. I'm not talking about the educators. I'm talking about the kids. That's my concern, because I know there are just some kids that's just not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if they're at school, at home, whatever. I was just wondering, from your all standpoint, but the majority of the kids are doing it, right?
Yeah. Very few that are not.
Okay. All right.
And I know with the high school, our numbers dipped a little bit in week 2, but even with that dip, we were looking at 88, I think, percent. I'm not looking at the numbers in front of me. Somewhere between 85 and 88% completion. And anybody that's been in a high school, when you're in March and April, if you have 88% of the kids doing what they're supposed to be doing in all their classes, that's a pretty good day.
Yeah, that's right. I agree.
How about the elementary? Is it Mr. Jones?
This
Ms.
is
Gatton?
this is Miss Gatton here for Calhoun. Week 3 and week 4, we had 100% participation rate for Calhoun. All of our students were able to reach out to, and their majority of our kids are doing work digitally, but we do have a few that are on paper packets. I know more so in our primary than our intermediate, but we're able to we did one drive-by pickup and drop-off for primary already, where they were able to drop off work in a bin, and then in an empty passenger side, we were able to drop work into them. So our participation rates have been really good at Calhoun. We're able to make contact with every kid. They were doing every day, every kid, and then now we've rotated days. The parents felt like it was too much to be contacted multiple times throughout every day.
Yeah.
But I have a couple that we still have to check on off and on. It's different kids each week, but no more than 2 or 3 that I have to reach out to or send somebody to reach out to.
Ms. Gatton, I just want to tell you that I love seeing the signs that say I miss my students from Calhoun. I just think that is such an uplifting thing. And I think it really, really, really is good for the kids to see that. I think that I think the kids get a real big kick out of that. And I just want you to know it's positive. It's something positive for the kids to see. I really enjoy seeing those.
Thank you for that. Yeah, our teachers and kids both were excited. We're going to rotate the kids every Friday. But whenever I would go to put them in the yard, the kids would just be ecstatic at trying to, see their faces, knowing that their teacher had put something in their yard for them.
Yeah, I think that was an amazing idea. That was great.
Thank
Excellent.
you.
Excellent.
Also, I'd like to say great job at the high school with the senior drive around picture. So that was
Love that.
awesome.
Had a lot of good comments about that. It was really, starting to recognize them. And, I think everyone not knowing exactly what was going to happen, that was a good start on it. And I just want to make a comment. I think all of our teachers over the whole county, everything I've heard has been exceptional. Everyone's making that extra effort to try to see that those kids succeed, even under the circumstances we've got right now.
That's
And
exactly right.
I want to thank every one of them.
That's exactly right.
Is there any more comments?
The virtual prom was fun. I attended.
Thank you. We had some technical difficulties, but it was fun.
Look, I even put on a dress. It was fun.
You should have sent us a picture.
Oh, no. My hair was through, but I had on a dress. Jay just hid in his room. But I had fun.
I think kids appreciated the effort.
Yeah, I think it was fun.
All right, and basically, we know we're going to do something special for these kids for graduations. And I've talked to Miss Howard today, and some part of her site-based team, and some of her leadership team too. We got 21, 22 days or a month. 1 month from tomorrow. Tomorrow will be 22nd, so a month for tomorrow. We'll have a special graduation and maybe drive up and maybe something different special. But we got some ideas floating, and hopefully we can zero them in soon and possibly let everybody know where we're going to. So thank you. And that's all I have.
Everyone else good?
I wanted to say I have a teacher that lives next door to me, and every time I go over there, that young lady is working. And I think, and I'm sure all of our teachers are probably doing the very same thing. So I think we as a county should be very, very thankful for the wonderful staff that we have in all of it.
I agree.
Yep. Yes. All right. If no other information or comments, do I hear someone to entertain a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Ms. Bumpus, do I have a second?
Second. Riggs.
Mr. Riggs. All right. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All right. Opposed? Being none, we are adjourned. Thank you. Thank all of you.
Very good.
Thank you.